Hi. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I think you can hear me. Shout out if you can hear me because a lot of things have changed and I think it's working. Hi. Hello, Quinn. Nice to see you. Yeah, okay, good. It's working. It appears to be working. So, wow, a lot has happened since I've last seen y'all. Wow, everyone's turning up. Look at this. It's like you've been waiting or something. Oh, hang on, I gotta get. Some things are new to me here too, so I gotta adjust. Hang on. 1 second. Let's get this up. There we go. Okay, yeah, so the camera is in a slightly different position now. There's been a lot of work done in the shop. Those of you who listen to the podcast, look, he's starting already. Can you believe it? Know that I've been doing a lot of work in the shop lately. You may have seen the YouTube video of Frankie where we were like, well, we got to clean this place up. And we've done that. We've done 2/3 of that. There's still a bit more to go. But the build stream setup has been rebuilt. And so things are in a slightly different position, which is why the framing is a bit different now. Things aren't going to look too different for you, but for me, they're very different. I have a lot more working space now. Things are just tidier, more organized. I still have to deal with the fur storage in the corner. That's a nightmare still, but I gotta get back to doing stuff. And among those things are build streams. Now, those of you who have listened to the podcast know that the regular build streams are not back yet. They will be in some capacity. I'm still sort of working on how that's gonna work. But we're doing a special build stream today for Pride Month. Now, those of you who have been with us for a while know that every year since Operation Puppet became a thing that exists, it needed it, Jojo. It needed it desperately. It was getting to the point that I couldn't work efficiently with it in the state that it was. So I just had to go out, take some time. Again, time is always the issue, right? But I had to just take some time and really strip this thing back to the bone and rebuild it. And so that's where we are, and it's all good. Yes, we are doing, every year we do a special build that is themed appropriately for Pride Month. And all of the proceeds from the sale of the puppet that gets built during the Pride Build stream, or Pride Build in general, goes to an appropriate charity. Now, usually what I've been doing, I've done, the Trevor Project, and I've done Trans Lifeline in the past. I still haven't decided what charity is going to be the recipient of this year's sale. I have some contacts in the charitable field, so I'm going to do some research, but using the guidance of some folks on the Discord, it's going to be something focused on trans people because, let's face it, they're being singled out big time right now. And it's going to be something local as well, because that's going to sort of the most impact is going to be felt there. So yes, thank you, Scarlett, as always, our cheerleader. So that's what we're doing. So what are we doing for Pride Build this year? I'm out of practice. Can you tell? Hang on. You know what? We're not going to rush. We got time. I'm having some iced coffee. And it's delicious. Indies keeps here, Scars. Look at it, everybody's here. We got Zep's got to show up at some point. Who knows? It's the internet. I like this framing better. I think you can see both me and Kermit simultaneously. That's important. I know. It's been so long since I've done this. I'm out of practice. Also, it's been a week since the last podcast should have been out. That was intentional. A lot happened last weekend. I have a lot more going on as well. I keep getting, to quote my dentist, I think all I ever give you is bad news, which is not what you want to hear from a dentist. But I heard it. So I have a lot of things that are still ongoing. And when I have serious dental work done, it really kind of knocks me out for a while, which is among the reasons that the build streams have been sporadic, shall we say. That will change in the future. Those of you who are on the Discord know that there's been some drama with Etsy. Etsy continues to be horrible and awful, and I hate them and I want to leave, but I can't afford to leave because I need the search results. However, part of the new agenda going forward is to try and get away from Etsy. And what that's going to mean is you're just gonna need to see more of me and more of stuff that I generate, because I need to be able to send people to the direct shop rather than relying on Etsy search. And that just means me getting out there more. So phase 2 of Operation Puppet will be beginning soon, and that's just gonna mean more output, more content. So yeah, the trans agenda, you know, I'm on board. Koya, nice to see you. Hello. Yeah, I am keeping up with chat. Chat's in a different place right now, so I'm a little bit wonky. Because I had to move a whole bunch of stuff around. My throat's already cracking. Oh, this is not good. I was singing along to some Tom Waits earlier. All right, let me get no, I'm not gonna get a lozenge before I finish my iced coffee, because that would ruin the iced coffee. I'm all over the place. What was I saying? Oh yes, phase 2 of Operation Puppet. It's just gonna be more stuff. Me getting out there more, me being more of a presence. I mean, stop me if you've heard this before, but puppet people can tend to be a little bit introverted. And I know it doesn't seem like that, but you know, we all are. There's introversion and extroversion are not mutually exclusive. They can happen simultaneously. It takes a lot for me to generate the kind of courage to get up to do this. Okay, thank you, Koya. But part of me getting out from under the boot of Etsy is me doing more content, basically, and just getting out there more and getting people to come to the direct shop instead of the Etsy shop. So that just means more me, more build streams, more Oracle, more everything. So rather than, I know we're going through a quiet time right now, but soon there's going to be a lot more. So don't worry. Ballpark Ship 893, planning on making a video on puppet feet at some point? Absolutely. One of the things that is in planning for phase 2, I'm calling it that because Gus told me, is a series of FAQ videos. So if you have a question, by all means submit it, and I will sort of tally up the results and see what are the most frequently asked questions, and I will make videos specifically on those questions. So we hide behind desks and sofas. Yep, it's true. We're baffled. Nothing but baffling. All the baffling. Oh, it's good to be back though. I tell you, I missed y'all. But yeah, so what are we doing for the build stream this year? Because it's something different every year. I hope you're feeling better, Koya. Yeah, you can put them in the Discord. You should join the Discord. That's the kind of main social media point right now for me. There's all kinds of other things, like, you know, I'm back reluctantly. I'm back on Facebook. I'm never going back to Twitter until Musk is out of there. So, you know, don't worry about that. Also on Mastodon, I forgot to post the Mastodon links. Oh well, Mastodon's kind of meh right now at this point anyway. I'm still there. It's still good. Oh, look at this Scarlet with all the links. Just going. Scarlet's my scooter. It's Scarlet's the official scooter, as well as the spell checker. That's another thing that the blog should probably pick up again. I just need to put more content out on the actual website itself and get that to be the kind of central point that everybody goes to, rather than the Etsy shop, right? So we're working on that. That is in process. But getting back to the point, I'm out of practice. This year's build stream for Pride is going to be another of the Smalley builds. Now, those of you, I think it may have been the last build streams that we did, were the Smalley pattern that is available from Tom Stewart's The Creature Works Studio. If you go to thecreatureworkstudio.com and you sign up for their newsletter, you will get sent in email a free puppet pattern. Excuse me, and that is the Smalley pattern. And that is the foundation of the thing that we will be building for our Pride build. This is a custom version that I built, that I kind of took Tom's original pattern and changed it and made some custom stuff for it. I changed the hands, I changed how the neck works. But if you go back into the archives, you can find our Smalley build. And it was really, really nice, and it was really cool, and I liked it a lot. Thank you, Scarlett, for posting all the links. Yes, Smalleys are great. Wow, my voice is really going. I'll get a lozenge in a second. It'll be fine. But we're doing that for the Pride build, and of course, let's just go. We've got nice rainbow fur. We're gonna do a rainbow fur that way. Rainbow fur, furry monster Smalley is what we're doing for our Pride build. Yeah, so that's it, Koya. That's basically it. It's going to be the Smalley build. It's going to be a furry monster, arm rods, as you can tell, with the arm rods, but with rainbow fur. And that's it. Whew, that's a lot of talking. It's been 3 weeks since the podcast, and I don't know how long since the last build stream, so I'm not used to this much talking. But it should be a lot of fun. It's definitely not going to get done this stream. We're just going to see how far we can get, but it'll be done this week. Probably by Thursday is what I'm hoping. I haven't done the patterns for the arms yet. I'm still kind of thinking about that. I don't know if I want to do the fur or fleece, but we'll see. Let me finish this coffee and get a lot of things, because I'm like, I could just do Frankie now. Frankie's going to do the whole stream. Yes, thank you, Scarlett. Yeah, it will be put up on it'll be going on the direct shop. Because again, we want to avoid the Etsy, cut. And all of the proceeds except shipping will be donated to a local trans charity. And I still have to research what charity will be. I will post all that stuff on social media and on the Discord, which is social media, so and all the receipts will be up there and everything. So yeah, anybody who buys this, I will keep the shipping costs, just because that's at a pocket expense. But all of the proceeds from the sales will go to a local trans charity. Oh, wow, look at Scarlett go. Okay, there we go. We are done the iced coffee, so it's time for a lozenge. Is it ever? Wow. I was singing along with some Tom Waits earlier, and I think that's what did it to me. Of course, that's what did it. Excuse me. All right, so I've already got the internals built. There's the head, there's the body. I'm gonna need to trim down this body a little bit, because as you can see, by default, the neck hole is a bit small, and I want to trim that down a bit. So I think that's where we're gonna start. Just trim that down. Already the nose is going. Excuse me. Already with the nose. I would be happier if my voice wasn't cracking. That'd be great. First time talking like this for a long time. Here we go. So all I'm gonna do is just draw, I think maybe like, I don't know, half an inch. We'll take off. Because this is 4 panels, it's fairly easy to just kind of eyeball half an inch. This is all internal anyway. It doesn't have to be pretty. This has to be. razor blade and we'll just trim off a little bit of this around the neckline, just to open that neck a little bit. We know how the music level is. Earlier on this playlist, there was a definite remix of the Super Mario theme, and I'm like, oh, I should take that out. Nintendo is not known for its relaxed attitude towards intellectual property. Of course I didn't, so it may come up. All right, there we go. And I'm also going to take the blade and bevel off the interior, just so there's a little bit more room. There should be no obstruction on this. So far, everything seems like it's working. It's a new camera for the shoulder cam as well. Should be a bit clearer when we go to that view. I kind of like my voice like this. I should just leave it. Kind of used in place of boning for structural use. So boning is really the best, and it's not hard to find. But what you can use, it's not as good, but if I have any easily available, I don't think so. It's all tucked away. Aquarium tubing is another thing you can use in place of boning. It's not going to hold it quite as well, but you can use aquarium tubing. Yeah, that's a good point, and just keep you any kind of plastic, like you could just get, you know, a kind of throwaway plastic I always get are these flexible cutting boards. And you can get these at dollar stores, and you can make boning out of this easily. Zip ties, there we go. Long zip ties. Yeah, they're just strips of plastic. And as long as the plastic will flex, that's all you need to worry about. There we go. That's a little easier right there. All right, so I think it's time to get the machine out actually and start sewing. I've already cut out the pieces for the head and the body. So all we gotta do is sew the head and the body together and then attach the head and the body. Yeah, hi Joe. Yeah, I've heard people use aquarium tubing before. There's also like PVC tubing, which isn't exactly aquarium tubing. It's actually what's used for the internals for mechs a lot. And it's a little bit stiffer. That's probably better if you're not going to use boning. You might want to use PVC tubing. But honestly, boning is, you know, you can go to any fabric store and get it. These I'm not using, so we'll put this aside. Either way, well, I'm going to move all of the foam stuff off, out of the way of production. This would be cluttering up our now spacious workspace. This is the thing that I did with the rebuild of the shop. Is now I know it looks the same to you, but I've got way more room to actually work with now. You gotta trust me on that. I'd have to get the handheld cam out and show you the whole panorama, but it's significantly better for me now. Just put these patterns back in the envelope where they belong. $44p. Well, you know, it may be the UK's fastest internet. We don't know. Let me grab the machine. Guess we'll go to that shoulder cam I was talking about. For this. Shoulder. There we go. My chat keeps getting cut off. That's not great. All right. The color of the thread here actually doesn't matter at all because, like, there's so many colors. What pick one, right? But I think I'm gonna pick pink just because I'm planning on doing the hands as pink. So I'll just get that loaded up. I'm ready to go. So let me swap out the thread. Too many people boiling the kettle makes the internet bad. I'd like to think you were joking, but I know you're not. That's not good. Oops, sorry. Hands are going in front of the camera here. Look at that. Is a good close-up of my forearm. Congratulations. I'm sure y'all wanted to see that. Now let's see if we have to load the bobbin. I don't think so. I think we're okay. We'll try it. We have to reload this bobbin. You trim your fur on the seam. No, I do not. Usually I find what I do is when I'm pinning it or clipping it in this case, I'll make sure that I've like tucked the fur down really far. So when you sew it, there shouldn't be a seam because the fur is already kind of pre-plucked, I guess you could say. That's important. And that's one of the things you need to do when you're working with fur is make sure that you're not jamming, fur up into the seam. So you have to take some time when you're pinning or clipping to make sure that the fur is all kind of tucked down where it should be. But all of the trimming I do after the fact, after it's all together. All right. I think my voice is starting to come back. It's good. There goes my ambitions of being a Tom Waits cover band artist. That'll never happen. Clearly. Oops. It's been so long since I've used this machine, I forgot how it works. There we go. Oh, Scarlett, if only you knew. I keep having visions of this like musical act I would love to do, which is basically Skinny Puppy meets Tom Waits, which doesn't sound like a natural confluence, but I could make it work. It'll never happen, of course, but in my head, it's already happening. Here we go. Okay. UK is too warm. It's actually quite nice here today. It was pretty warm recently, but yesterday was nothing but rain, which has not only cooled things off, but made the smoke go away. I don't know if y'all have been following what's been happening in Canada, but we've got all these wildfires in the north. And the smoke has been filtering down through pretty much all of North America, including across the ocean. We've been sending some smoke over to Scarlet. Sorry, it wasn't my choice. He told me. Justin told me I had to send you some smoke. This occurred to me how undignified Prime Minister Justin is. Like sounding. The name doesn't sound like it should be, you know. It's like Prime Minister Terry. Anyway. Where's my pedal? My pedal's gone. Buried. There we go. What's wrong? What's wrong? There we go. I am way out of practice. Yikes. Still fine. We're good. We're good. All right, what I usually do is I lock off this is the tip of the nose. I make sure that that's lined and locked off, and then I flip it around to do the rest. Just to make sure it's nice and neat and tidy. Shame Zepp isn't here because there's going to be some hand sewing, I believe. Thank you, Saint Dano 5. A very happy Pride to you too. Lord knows everyone who isn't an asshole could use it right now. I apologize for the adult language, but there's been a lot of stuff in the news that makes me want to swear. We do try to keep it PG-13 around here, but some things are warranted, I think. All right, that's one side. Hey, the voice is coming back. At least I've got a good recovery time. Andrew! Folks, it's Bat Phantom. F-bomb to use up before the R rating. You know, don't listen to the podcast. It's like the podcast is the one place where I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Anything goes. It's Gus' voice. It's true. That's how I can tell if my voice is in good shape or not, because Gus requires So we do the intro for the podcast. It's Jamie. His pronouns are he, him. Is Jamie, aka Scumboy. Jamie says hello. And then his pronouns are he, him. It's Andrew, aka Bat Phantom. See? It's just in there. You can't escape it. I hear it in my dreams. Oh, you know what? I mean, we can talk about Diablo 4. Hashtag Team Lilith. I mean, seriously. Haradrim, get over yourself. There's some niche references here. Welcome to this special edition of Pixels and Puppets at pixelsandpuppets.com. See? I know this may be the first time Andrew's joined us for a live stream. The machine just made a weird noise. I don't like it. See how this goes. All right. So the head has died, and stop me if you've heard this before and insert your own jokes. There's the head. Now we do the body. The body's gonna take a little bit because there's a whole bunch of darts. We've already clipped them, and then we gotta sew it together, and then we have to attach the head to the body. The machine did okay, actually. It just made a weird noise for a second. This thing often will do like a weird jamming thing if I'm doing a backstitch. It's just too powerful. That's the problem. That's what you're gonna tell the manufacturer. That's the marketing text. This machine cannot handle subtlety. It is a heavy-duty machine, but that means sometimes with light duty, it can't quite do it. To quote Tom Waits, "Large print giveth, and the small print taketh away." Let's just do a whole stream of me quoting Tom Waits. How about that? Davey's definitely been playing too much Diablo. Yeesh. No such thing. I got the door open because, in theory, my ROG Ally may be being delivered today. You'll hear all about that on the Pixels and Puppets podcast. Live unboxing. You know what? I mean, maybe. I'm making a puppet, and it's kind of like the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz because the parts are everywhere. Oh, believe me. I understand. After I'm done, particularly fur grooming, when I'm like, shaving stuff, once you shaved your monster, you got to do a cleanup. You know what I'm saying? Why are we working blue today? I don't know. Man, everyone's just going. Everyone's on the top of the game today, except me. Good. Perfect. down, that's down. All we're doing right now is just doing some darts. It said that so Northern Ontario, darts. There's no A in that word, darts. Just show some darts, eh? Look, it happens. I am Canadian for my sins. The people drive in Middle Ontario. All right, so what I'm going to do now is trim these darts with an A in the word. That is why I saw the moose. I think I need more coffee. I don't know about you, but it is an option. I know what the focus on the camera is like. I played with it, but I got a fairly shallow focal plane just so we can have some nice, depth of field with Kermit there, but it also means I can't move backwards and forwards too much, otherwise I'm going to be out of focus. It's a quick story, boy. Everything will be well. It'll be in focus for me, for a given value of focus. .144 144p, nothing is in focus. Oh, Scarlett, my friend, let me tell you about 380. Or 320, sorry, 320, 380. Here we go, the old man portion of the program starts now. Back in my day, we had this thing called the television. Actually, broadcast TV was 480, I think. So far, so good is how the day is going, ballpark. Yep, 893. Reading usernames is hard. Okay, so there we go. I got all of the darts done, and they are darts done, and they are trimmed. So now I have to clip the back, and then we're going to sew up the back seam. Remember in the world of 640 by 480? Yep, I sure do. The very first animation I ever rendered was 640 by 480. When mastodons pranced across the tundra. It's pretty good fur. You're right. Of course, the important thing here is what I have to really be aware as I'm clipping it to make sure I align the stripes, right? To make sure that they're still... You can still get a black... TV license in general is just a very, very alien thing to those of us who aren't in the UK. I mean, not necessarily a bad idea, but just seems odd. It's like, do you have a license for that modem, you know? I mean, I'm in favor of anything that will raise public money, don't get me wrong, but since we never had it here, it just seems like such a strange thing. Like tea time, I don't know. my grandparents were off the boat from London. It's where I got a lot of my Anglophile influences, particularly regarding comedy. And they would always do tea time. So I understood what it was, just never understood why it was so important. All right, here we go. Back to the shoulder cam. My grandparents did not watch, oh, I didn't learn about the Goon Show from my grandparents, but I did learn about Monty Python from my grandparents. That was the first place I ever saw Monty Python's Flying Circus. And through that, what eventually led to the Goon Show. All right, sewing, I know how to do that. Yeah, my grandparents, my grandfather was in the Navy and he was a ship gunner on a deck of a destroyer, and he was firing the gun during World War II, and it blew off half of his index finger, and so he got discharged. And this was just during the Blitz, and so he was like, well, I can't, this is when they weren't desperate yet for soldiers, so he was like, well, we could stay here and get bombed, or we could emigrate somewhere. So they came to Canada, and the rest is history. Little family history there for you. He wasn't hard of hearing. Actually, I don't remember. He may have been. But what I do remember of my grandfather, again, this was like, a whole couple of lifetimes ago. He died when I was quite young. Was that he was the human embodiment of Popeye. He was straight up like sailor's tattoos and like chain smoking, roll his own, and just like this like hard as nails guy. He was great. I loved him to pieces. He was the best. But yeah, like no compromise, no BS with my grandfather. In fact, it may have been why I connected so strongly with Popeye the cartoon later on. It was because he just reminded me so much of my grandfather. And my grandmother, these are both my maternal grandfather and grandmother. I didn't know my paternal grandparents very well, but my maternal grandmother looked almost exactly like Ronnie Barker in drag. If you know the two Ronnies, and they did drag a lot. Ronnie Barker, who was the larger one. I mean, it would be hard not to be the larger one, and when you compare it to Ronnie Corbett, but Ronnie Barker in drag was almost identical for my maternal grandmother. All right, so there we go. We have the body all in one piece. So now we join the head to the body, and then, well, we got a couple of options. We'll talk about that once we get there. I think what I do actually need 4 candles. Thank you. We got 4 candles. I think it's true that I don't remember if it's Ronnie Barker, Ronnie Corbett's funeral, they actually had 4 candles around the casket. Lovely. Those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, go look up the Four Candles sketch from the Two Ronnies. Just trimming off seam allowance for the head here. Yeah, well, like anything else, a lot of the Two Ronnies stuff is very dated now. So, be aware of that. Some of the humor is definitely not appropriate anymore. Wasn't then, but it was acceptable then, or is now. It definitely is not, and shouldn't be. But still, just it's one of those. The writing was just so brilliant that it's really worth checking out. There we go. We have a link to the Four Candles sketch. So I turned the head. Look at that, huh? There you go. It's going to be quite the thing. Because we gotta. I'm gonna try and do this. Oh, maybe we can't do this on the machine. This might be too small to do on the machine. The arm on this machine is quite thick. I'm not sure we'll be able to do this, but let's see. I'll pin it and we'll give it a try. Well, that's like, the Goon Show. I adore the Goons, but a lot of it is still like, you got to go in knowing some of these things were, it was okay to do this at the time, but it is definitely not okay. None of it was ever malicious. It was just the stereotypes of the age, right? All right, let's see if we can get this. We may have to hand sew this. Let's just see how this goes. I did put a seam allowance in. There's another way to sew this on the machine that I wouldn't have to use the arm. It's just awkward. Prefer not to, but we may have to. This is always fiddly because what I'm doing is I'm tucking the fur down into the seam so we can clip it or pin it. Fur is, I find, always easier to clip, and it's fine. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, a lot of British comedy even today is a bit dodgy. Well, a lot of comedy even today is dodgy, right? It's all context. You just have to understand going in that this is the case. I mean, there's a whole bit in Life of Brian, right? Monty Python, which is brilliant, but you could very much interpret it as an anti-trans bit where Eric Idle wants to be a woman. Remember that whole bit? Where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box, right? That whole bit? Maybe that joke don't play so well anymore. And that's the other side of it. It's like, the drag act is like, this is not new, Republicans. This is, where have you been? Because gender bending has been around since there has been theater. They're just, trying to drum up a weird panic because they have a political agenda to push. Of course. Here we go. Operation Puppet gets political again. But I mean, we're doing a Pride stream. Of course we're getting political. Come on. All right. Hopefully this will work. Greek theater, exactly. Well, that's just it. Remember, for the longest time, it was illegal for women to be actors. Therefore, all female roles had to be played by men legally. I'm not saying it's better. Of course it's not better, but it's not new. Yep, very good point, Scarlett. And I mean, I guess, you know, being as old as I am, you got to remember, like, I came of age in the 80s. Our musical idols were like David Bowie and Annie Lennox, right? Like, the whole, you know, playing with gender thing is not an alien concept to me at all. It's just the way it is, the way humans are, and it's fine. Like, settle the frig down, Republicans. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, you get etymology now, look out. Saying whip stitch on pink fur with pink thread and having a hard time seeing it because it blends so well. Should I use a different color thread? I would say no. You want it to blend. Unfortunately, you just have to kind of get used to that and get a feel for it. It is very much a practice thing. I know I say that a lot, but it's just true. You'll get a feel for it eventually. You want the thread to blend. That's a good thing. Okay, so here we go. I've got it all clipped up. We're gonna see if we can do this on the machine. I'm not confident, but we'll see. Out of the way. Go back to the shoulder cam. See, the problem is normally the way you do basically a sleeve, and the way you do that normally is you pull this off and then you put this around. But this is too much of this for this. This hole is not big enough. So the other way to do it, the old machine had a thinner arm, but this one is quite substantial. So the other way to do it is to try and put it on other way and go, ugh, this is ugly, I don't like it. Oh well, we'll try it. Thankfully it's fur, and so precision isn't huge, but I'm still not crazy about having to do it this way. We'll just see how it goes. If I have to end up hand stitching a bunch of it, I will. You have to go slow with this because there's so many clips. I said slow. I'm trying to look at chat, but I also have to concentrate on this, so let me know if I miss something important. It's all important, Kevin. All right, we're getting off track already. I can see. I gotta reseat this. I ain't doing this. It's ugly, and awkward. Okay, let's see how that goes. I honestly don't know if this is worth the time it saves half the time. Think when we do this, I am going to go grab another coffee. Had a question about the blue Smalley earlier, asking what happened to it. Oh yes, I did actually get. Oh, as soon as I put the pictures up on, I guess it was Instagram, a repeat client got in touch with me privately and said, "I want that." So it got sold before it even got listed. So yes, that's what happened to the blue Smalley. There will be more, don't worry. All right, this is done. Let's see how we did. Because the problem is this kind of meanders around. It's very tricky to kind of get it guided. So sometimes you can get a little too close to the edge and it doesn't quite have enough seam allowance. Let's see. Yeah, I may have to throw in some hand stitching along here. There's, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. Around some points, it may have got a little too close to the edge. It feels okay, but I want to make sure this isn't going to come apart. So just to be on the safe side, we'll trim this down and then hand stitch the places that it needs it. Yes, it's true. If you ever want first crack, anything that's about to get listed, the Discord is probably your best bet. Thank you, Scarlett. As always. Actually, now that I look at it on this side, it seems that we did okay. Still a little bit too close for comfort in one place. I think we'll be okay though. I will throw in some hand stitching just to buy some insurance, but it did better than I was afraid it might. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go AFK just for a second to get myself another cup of coffee. And then we will be back with some hand sewing. I guess a shame Zep isn't here because Zep could do the hand sewing alert. But that's what's next. We're just gonna hang out and hand sew. My voice is back. Hey, good. All right, I will be right back. What would I do without you, Scarlet? Hi, Jimmy's here. Jimmy the cat is here. See if we can get him come up. And come up without having me spill my drink. There's also fur all over my lap. I don't know if you want to come up here right now. Hi. He's not awake yet. Oh, there we go. There's Jimmy. Say hello. The new camera angle catches more of Jimmy. Look at Scarlett out there doing the marketing work. Hey, we got the whole Operation Puppet bingo. Coffee's good. This is my solution to me because I was, if it's hot coffee, I could maybe 4 cups. That's it for a whole day. But if it's iced coffee, I will drink like 2 liters easily a day, and that's too much for people who want to ever sleep. So this is my solution: a smaller glass, a more coffee cup-sized glass is how I'm sort of able to sort of monitor my iced coffee intake a little bit more. Hello, Mr. Boo. Mr. Boo is one of his many nicknames, as all cats have 1,000 nicknames. Yeah, I gotta get back to work soon, buddy. Ish. Ponk. His AI human still works. We're all just here for the cats. Where are we at? We're an hour in. Pretty good, actually. That's pretty good pacing. We're not having done this in a while. With the cats have 3 names. The naming of cats is a serious matter, not just one of your carnival games, party games, parlor games, something like that. Yeah. See, I didn't realize, because that's T.S. Eliot and then Andrew Lloyd Webber, but I first heard it from Logan's Run, right? The character of the old man in Logan's Run, played by an actor whose name I completely am blanking on, but I know used to play Hercule Poirot. Somebody help me! Oh God. Anyway, that's where I first heard it. Was in the end of Logan's Run. It's gonna really bug me now. Somebody look up the pre-David Suchet Poirot. All right, coffee's been had. Cat is still in lap, but cat needs to leave. Yes. Thank you, Scarlett. It's gonna, as soon as I see it, it's gonna be, of course, it's so-and-so. So what I need to do is do a little bit of hand sewing on here. I keep wanting to say John Gielgud, I know that's wrong. I mean, I could look it up myself. But why do that when you have an assistant? There's about 20 results. He played Poirot in a lot of them. So look up Logan's Run. Peter Ustinov, thank you, you got it. That's the one. Yeah, he played Poirot a lot. Like he was Poirot before David Suchet. Yeah, so he played a character in the original Logan's Run film, which was an adaptation of a book. That was like, the old man who survived outside the city, and so But he was like this crazy old cat man was who he was. Not John Malkovich. Did John Malkovich play Poirot? That would be worth seeing. No, Peter Ustinov played this fantastic like old hermit character, and he had like 1,000 cats, and he quoted the naming of cats is a serious matter poem, and that's the first place I heard it. That's the roundabout way of telling that story. So all I'm doing right now, getting back to the puppets, is I'm hand stitching some places where the machine seam kind of went too close to the edge, just to make sure that it doesn't come apart. No, it's definitely Peter Ustinov is who I'm thinking of. Speaking of Poirot, and therefore Agatha Christie, there was a really great recent episode of the BBC podcast, history podcast, You're Dead to Me, hosted by Greg Jenner, formerly of Horrible Histories, with Lucy Worsley and Sue Perkins, and the topic was Agatha Christie. It was real good. Highly recommended. It's not just about puppets, kids. All right, I think that should do it. I'll give it a good old test here and make sure that it's nice and strong before we release it to the wild. And then there's more hand sewing because I got to sew in the mouth lining next. Just making sure we tie this off good and tight. And I'm just going around to see if I put my finger between where the seam is, and I'm just going around and making sure there's no weak spots or holes, and that when stress is put on it, it's not going to come apart. Seems okay. You can actually flip this and have a look at the moment. It's got to go back, but we'll see. We'll see how the colors lined up. That'll be interesting to see. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Look at that, Scarlett. Eh? Because right here is the neck seam, and that ended up quite nicely aligned. Look at that. You would never know that was in 4 pieces. Okay, so I guess the next thing we can do, actually, I can close these darts up as well before we move on from the pink thread. It is very rainbow. It is. So I've got a dart right here, a little dart on top of the head to close up. We can do that right now. Dart. Yeah, it's really easy to hide seams in fur. Among the nice things about fur. There are some not nice things about fur, but that's one of the nice things. I do like this camera framing more. I think I feel more relaxed with it for some reason. I don't know why. It's because I'm slightly offset. You can curve it, can take some of the attention away from me. Because that's what you want when you're live streaming, is to not have people look at you. I think you've missed the point of live streaming. Hand sewing alert, it's true, thank you. Standing in for Zep. Yeah, every time I send out a new puppet, like I do run the lint roller over them and everything, and I shake them vigorously to try and dislodge all the extra bits, but you can never get rid of it all. There's always going to be some that comes off. So, yeah, it's part of the dues you pay, kid. Living the puppet life. I gotta tell you, I'm glad my voice has recovered so quickly because I was a bit worried there at first. I was like, well, am I going to completely lose my voice on stream? That would suck. No, turns out I'm okay. We have what is probably going to be a quite involved podcast coming up because it's been 3 weeks and because a lot of things happened in both the puppet and tech and video game space. Oof. It's gonna be a lot of talking on Friday. Just Ducky, hello. You did not miss it. You are, we've got 45 minutes left to go, so there we go. Unfortunately, a lot of that's gonna be hand sewing. You missed the exciting machine sewing part. So now you're just stuck with me sitting here babbling, which you may enjoy. I assume if you didn't, you wouldn't be watching. Well, puppet stuff does make everything better. I mean, I say this a lot, but I do have the best job in the world, and I can't imagine doing anything else. That's the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about was that, yeah, things have been a bit quiet, Operation Puppet-wise, for a while. And on the internet, I know when things go that way, sometimes it can spell trouble. But I wanted to reassure everybody, no, we're not going anywhere. Not only that, but like the next phase of things is just going to be more. I'm just having to do some adjustments from a business plan standpoint, from a technical standpoint right now. But there is nothing else I can do right now. I have aged out of the only other occupation I ever had that I had a skill set for. So this is it. Whether this is working or not financially, this is what I am doing now. So you're stuck with me. Operation Puppet's going to be around for as long as it physically possibly, as long as I can sew, there's going to be an Operation Puppet. So don't worry. We ain't going nowhere. Oh no, this is very alive. I don't know how I can prove it to you. I don't know. Tell me to say something that is family friendly and I will say it. I mean, that kind of proves it right there, right? I'm an AI. I'm ChatGPT. Taking all the jobs, including mine. So you showed out Scarlet. You never said that before. Why, that's an idea. We do that. My chat keeps. I've got two chats open. I got one that's on the Discord and one that's. There we go. It keeps like not scrolling, which is the opposite to what I want it to do. Okay, Dart is closed. Dart with an A. So now I got to cut the fabric for the interior of the mouth. So that Dart is now closed. So now we need to cut the interior fabric of the mouth and then sew that in. So the question now is, you know what, I think I'll do this black. I think black would suit this better than red. I'm gonna have to get some new black ultra suede suit. I'm almost out. Let me just move this out of the way because we don't need the machine anymore. Let's go to the top view again. The camera operator. I wish I had a camera operator. I wish I had a switcher. I need a producer. Fortunately, Frankie still lives in my head. All right, so here we go. We got some black ultra suede here. Yeah, no, Scarlet is a mod. And the designated scooter. So let me grab the pattern. Nope, that's not it. I'll find it. Talk amongst yourself. Did I already take it out? Maybe I already take it out. Hang on, let's see. Golden skull. It's here somewhere. Here we go. That's the one. Scarlett's got a spreadsheet of links. I don't have a spreadsheet of links. I guess that's the point, right? All right, here we go. Cross marks on. Always want to know where center is. Always want to be centered. Here's the thing I never did appreciate about the process of being a mod, never having been one before, or having had one before. It sure does take a lot of pressure off. Thank you, Scarlett. I feel more relaxed doing this, knowing that somebody's got my back. All right. Why is it when I start cutting fabric that I get sniffly and I gotta blow my nose? Am I allergic to cutting fabric? All right, there we go. Now, let me deal with this before it becomes an issue. I've already got 6 cameras in here. I don't need any more. I'm good. You know what I do need though is a lozenge. All right. We can actually go back to about the camera. Now we're going to pin or clip, in this case. Slip this in and then hand sew it. And yay, more exciting hand sewing action. So the plan is, this is probably as far as we're going to get on stream. After this, I can glue the skull in. Maybe we'll get there. We'll see how long the hand sewing takes. I'm going to do the arms tomorrow. So it should be done on Thursday. That's the goal. Be up on the shop on Friday. Or hand sewing alert. It's true. Not quite there, but soon. Speaking of admin, that's one thing I've been meaning to do that I haven't. The camera for fine print, my eyes are old. Oh, tell me about it. I gotta start compiling the list of FAQ questions for videos. What I should do is post them publicly somewhere so people can see if their question's already been asked. Let me think about that. Seems like a good idea. Because then it's a matter of finding a social media platform that most people are on, right? I guess Facebook is the logical place for that, but I don't know, we'll see. I try to avoid Facebook as much as possible. Thank you, Scarlett. On it. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Purple Cheesecake Zebra is Scarlett. That's why I keep calling them that. Who is a long-term member of the Operation Puppet community, a friend, and a mod. And I believe the current record holder for most Operation Puppets owned, including me. So yeah, if you want to send anything in email, it's just admin@operationpuppet.com or oracle@operationpuppet.com. I'll also get that too. Not that anyone's ever used that, you know. Is my email not on the, I guess it isn't on the link tree. Good point. I'll put my email on the link tree. I have a lot of email addresses, so I can never remember which ones I've used. Here's an interesting question that maybe somebody wants to think about. While I get some bread, excuse me. I own the domain puppetminds.com. because I keep making the joke about the puppet mines. I bought that domain a long time ago. It is up for renewal in a couple of weeks, and I don't know if I want to pay for the renewal. I haven't thought of anything to do with it. Anybody can think of anything to do with the URL puppetmines.com, like a mine, like you would mine for gold or whatever, but mining for puppets. I could just make it redirect, I guess, but what would be the point in that? Because if I can't think of anything good to do with it, I'm just gonna let it not renew. I don't think anybody is chomping at the bit to get puppetmines.com. Minecraft streams. Agenda revealed. Buy it for 40 billion. Sold. Elon. I am absolutely, you can't see on camera, I am absolutely covered in rainbow fur. Happy Pride, y'all. Gascoigne, yeah. All right, now is the hand sewing alert. Here we go. Sewing in fabric lining for the mouth plate. We got half an hour left in the stream. Let's see if we can finish this in half an hour. I'm glad I was able to do this. Originally, it was scheduled for tomorrow because I usually stream on Wednesdays, but then the ongoing and continuing and never-ending drama of my dental work interfered with that. Now, it turns out the thing I'm supposed to do tomorrow is just a consultation and not a full surgery. So I could have actually done this tomorrow anyway, but we'd already changed the schedule, so I guess we're gonna have to roll with it. Creature Work Studio, hello, nice to see you. Tom Stewart, everybody. The kind and generous person behind the pattern we are using for this year's Pride build at thecreatureworkstudio.com. Go sign up for the newsletter and you will get your own copy of this pattern. See? I'm like your marketing guy now. We talked about this on stream a little bit before, but it's true. I'm not gonna say there's no sense of competition, but amongst the more established builders, shall we say, it's like we don't think like we're in competition. We each have our own operations. See what I did there? But we're all just trying to make it work, and you know, if anything, we support each other. I personally think there's more than enough room for lots of people to be in this space. If anything, it's not about, you know, a bigger slice of the pie. It is about enlarging the pie, right? That's my whole trip with that. Yes, Tom. So I don't know if you're aware, every year I do a special themed Pride build and the proceeds from the sale of this will go to a appropriate charity. Which this year will be a local trans charity. Yet to be determined, but I'm working on that. Once you get my chat's getting weird. What's going on? Here we go. We don't need a chat bot. Scarlett's just got it. Yeah, this will be the third one I've done like this. I think Scarlett owes 2. I don't remember. I mean, let's face it, Scarlett, you are, as all human beings are, kind of operated by a keyword, right? You know, oh, there's a word that I can respond to. We're all chat GPT now. Three pride bills. And Margaret, my partner, everybody. Where's Brian Henson? That's the only one left to show up. Wow. And all for this exciting hand sewing. I just caught my mic. Of course I have. Here we go. Let's try not to do that again. Margaret is the origin of the lovely Kermit shirt that I'm currently wearing. Building puppets while watching puppets being built. Yep. Sometimes it's a pretty good life, you know? We gotta start an Operation Puppet glossary, because I don't think a lot of people, or people who aren't on regulars on the Discord, know what Danger Honey is. Danger Honey is our nickname for Barge. And now it's Tom's as well. Oh yeah, don't worry, the days of me not wearing a mask, those carefree halcyon days, are long gone. Always wear a mask. Spreading the gospel of Danger Honey. Thank you, Margaret. You should trademark Danger Runny and then, I don't know, license it to be. You know, I'll just stop using it. What do you do? You like Disney, you throw it in the vault. Nobody can use it. Speaking of Disney, we're just over halfway through Muppets Mayhem. No spoilers. Boy, that thing is good. That is a good show. Like, it's not just from a nostalgia perspective, which is where they've been kind of leaning with all their Muppet stuff lately, but it's genuinely just a good show. Like, it's really, really well written. The human performers are fantastic. All the puppet performers are amazing, of course. But like, it's very clever. It's very snappy. The pacing is really good. Like, it's just, everything about it is good. Highly recommended. I'm really enjoying it. I think we could probably largely thank Bill Beretta for that. He seemed to really be taking the reins on that one. Are there a lot of hidden trans flags in Mayhem? I hadn't noticed. I know that the logo is all rainbowy. Zap, there we go. We got the full bingo. I knew it would get there eventually. How you doing, Zap? Nice to see you. So yeah, the regular build streams are not back yet. I'm still working on how that's all gonna work. But this is a special Pride build. Had to do it. Lurk away, my friend. Me too. I mean, that's not necessarily a role. I'm just sitting here hand sewing. I might as well be lurking in my own stream. Based on the current pace, see, I like to do really small stitches around the mouth just to make sure that it's strong and it looks good and you don't see the stitches. So this takes a while. I am using a locking whip stitch. Very good. Yeah, so putting it through, looping the thread around, pulling it through. That's all. You're basically just doing a little knot every single stitch. Yeah, Joe, I agree. It's so good. The thing is, like, it's genuinely funny. Like, the writing is really clever, and it understands the characters so well, and it leans into what makes the characters funny. It's so good. Like, they nailed it. They really got it. Plus, I think that Jim would have liked it, and that's an important factor, right? Yeah, no, Mayhem is fantastic. The mythical Henson stitch. Yeah, nope, no Henson stitches are out here. That's definitely going to be that's going to be our most controversial FAQ video. How do you do the Henson stitch? I can hear something that sounds like my phone, but it's not my phone. My phone's right here. I don't do the fold and glue method. I do the more Kruitinger style, sewing in a lining first and then gluing that to the mouth plate. I've tried both. This just is better for how my brain and muscles work. I've never been able to get a nice clean result with the fold and glue method. And I know some people who prefer that and who absolutely hate doing it this way. Whatever is good for you works. I've always got better, cleaner results with this. So, yeah, Petty's great. Petty's fantastic. And I like the fact that they introducing a new character too. The other thing I like about Mayhem is the fact that they're not leaning into like the other Muppets don't have cameos. I know that's a bit of a spoiler, but whatever. It is just about the Mayhem, right? Like, I was kind of expecting it to be like, oh, look, you're going to go to Kermit's house now, but it's not. It's just about the Mayhem. I don't fold, though. Yeah, well, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, when you are, like, finishing the mouth plate and then gluing the fabric to that. I know that's a way a lot of the pros do it. I know that's how BJ Geyer does it. And I have tried it, and I just can't nail it. And I have always got better results, just for how my brain works. Yeah, it is time consuming. You're absolutely right. It is much faster to do it, the glue method. You're 100%. I mean, you see how long I've spent just getting, I'm not even halfway up this mouth yet, because I do very small stitches for this, just to make sure it's nice and clean and solid. I also I don't like seeing the edges of fabric. I know it on camera, you never see it, but just, I know it's there, and that bugs me. So I just rather do it this way. The Achilles heel of doing it this way is, of course, gluing it then and then having to turn it. Your alignment can be off, and sometimes you have to take 2 or 3 runs at it. So yeah, this is definitely more time consuming, no question. I've just got consistently better results doing it this way, so I'd rather spend the time to do it this way. But there's no right or wrong. It's all just whatever works for you, right? So I should practice. This is the other thing. Like, I don't have the time to practice getting good at the other way, right? This is just the way that I have developed my technique, so this is the way I'm sticking with. Now, at some point, I would like to spend the time to get good at the other way. It's not straight. You're great. Thank you, Scarlett. Odd theme. Well done. So yeah, there's plus and minuses for doing it either method. So you just gotta try both, and whatever one works for you, right? We should have like a Canadian Puppet Builders Summit at some point that me and Tom should get together and we'll have like a meeting of the minds kind of thing. It's actually feasible because Tom and I aren't actually that far apart geographically, so I think things may be in the process. Well, we're gonna talk. Do have a bit of a week still ahead of me, but hopefully things will be a little bit clearer, at least after I get through some dental stuff tomorrow. I look forward to that, Tom, because like I said, I'm super curious. Because I've seen, like, I did the BJ Geyer courses, and I've seen how BJ does it, and I mean, like, they look fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And I think it's partly a confidence thing. I'm not confident enough in my ability to not be messy with the glue, and you really have to be precise with your glue edges when you do the gluing down method, right? And I'm not 100% confident in that. So this way, even though I'm investing a little more time here, I'm hopefully saving time later by not messing up the glue line, right? That's kind of what I'm banking against, you might say. But like I said, whatever works, right? I mean, there's no absolutes. Some future puppet builder will come up with their own technique that we've never even thought of yet. There we go. We are now at the halfway point for sewing in this mouth lining. Yeah, this is going to be it for the stream, folks. Buckle in. Or not, because we're not going very fast. Hopefully, after this week, I'll be able to get my build schedule a little bit more predictable and under control, and we'll be back to really building hard for the shops. Yeah, I got you, Tom. I did have to work a long time to get my stitching to the point that you couldn't see the stitches. That is true. And that's one of the reasons why this takes so long, is because I'm doing really tiny stitches, making them as even as possible. But you're not wrong. I should try it the other way. Now that I'm at this point, I think I tried it, the gluing down method. Should try calling it like the BJ Geier method versus the Krutinger method, right? When I was making my Kermit, because as far as we know, and we don't know for real, but as far as we know, that's probably the method that they use Kermit, so I was trying to make it as authentic as possible, and I could just never get it. Now this was a couple of years ago. I've had a couple of years of experience since then, so maybe now I could do a bit better with the gluing method. So we'll see. Yeah, absolutely, Tom. So I've done so much hand sewing. I really kind of like it. If I have the time, obviously, it's very time consuming, but I rarely get into trouble with hand sewing anymore. I did it first, don't get me wrong. It was my biggest crisis of conscience of whether I could actually do this for real, was over hand sewing. And because it was just going terrible, I was just getting huge tangles, and it was looking awful, and it was like I just couldn't get it. And then I realized what I was doing wrong, and this is probably not applicable to anybody but me, but I was using cheap thread. So there's a big tip. Don't use cheap thread. Thread quality really matters. Because cheap thread will tangle unbelievably easy, and the higher quality thread won't. And that makes all the difference. Another thing is, and this is something I don't do as often as I should, change your needles, because these things get dull. And the sharper a needle, the smoother the action on the needle is going to be. And the duller a needle, the more likely it's going to get snagged. So there's two tips. If you're gonna save money anywhere, don't save money on thread. Spend the money for the good thread. Don't get the bulk stuff on Amazon. That stuff is garbage. You don't want that. And that was my big mistake with hand sewing, was getting the bulk thread. And then I couldn't get through a stitch without it tangling up. But it was so bad that I was like, I can't do this. This is not, this is something about the way I sew that I can't do this. And it turns out it was the thread. I changed the thread and it was all fine. Oh yeah, no, I live in fear of, like, I am so unbelievably paranoid about dropping needles and pins and things, particularly with the cats, right? Like, I gotta be super, super hygienic with the floor in here, because Jimmy, the vacuum cleaner, will come in and just hoover up any speck that's on the carpet, so I have to be real careful. Needles migrate, I'm sure of it. You'll find them in places that you were like, well, how did this even get here? It's only happened to me like maybe twice since I started this, so I've been lucky. But it's always a fear in the back. This is like the old sea dog. There's always a fear that one day it'll come for you with a needle in the carpet. It's true. Where are we at? We're almost at time. Yep, this is it. We are not going to be finished this before the stream ends. Oh, well, it's been very relaxing. The puppets bring it in. Yeah, some kind of like weird, like object of veneration. Like, this is our origins right here. This is where we come from. It's like a, humans putting the bones of Australopithecus in a museum and going to see them. This is where we came from, everybody. The puppets have a needle museum. There we go. Confirmation. The Muppets do in fact glue, not so like I'm doing. You're even less authentic, all right? You listening to me? He doesn't listen. I don't have to listen to him, Kermit. You should listen to me. I have used upholstery thread for some things, particularly mouths. I find it's just a little thick for a lot of things, but for fur, upholstery thread is quite nice. You are not wrong. I love the fact that Tom just knew that. The kind of audience we get around here. If you put all of us together, like, how many degrees of separation between us and the Muppets are there? Not that many. We basically own them. No, don't let Disney hear that. Great. DCMA complaint right away. Yeah, swimming Fraggles. Anything that's going to get wet. I'm about to have to change my needle. Well, you know what? We got 4 minutes to go, and this is going to be it. So why don't we call it here? I got to change the thread anyway. So here we go. I think that'll be it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was great turnout. Nice that you're all still here after such an absence. Still no firm plans for the return of the regular build streams, but stay tuned, as always, to all the social media. There will be a new episode of the podcast being recorded this weekend. And yeah, join the Discord, visit CreatureWorks Studio, thecreatureworksstudio.com for this pattern. Sign up for the newsletter and you will get emailed to pattern. There we go. Thank you, Scarlett. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, everybody. This was great. Happy Pride. You will see the end result on Instagram and Discord and Mastodon and Facebook and all the places I am. You will see this, the result of all this. So thank you. I'm gonna go have lunch, as usual. Excellent. Thank you for all the links, Scarlett. Thank you, Scarlett, particularly for such good modding. Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go have lunch. Have a good one.